What's up, guys? This is Storm, and welcome to another gaming news roundup. I didn't post a video for last week because there wasn't really much news going around, and I was recovering over a cold. But since now I'm feeling better, I'm gonna combine last week news with this week news. So, without further ado, let's get on with the gaming news. Our first news: Ubisoft canceled a post-Civil War Assassin's Creed last year. Alright, so supposedly Ubisoft was making a Assassin's Creed game that took place in the post-Civil War. And they gave out a reason why and a little bit of story details of what the game was going to be. Apparently you was going to play as a black character that becomes an assassin, and basically you go around taking out slave owners and people that was enslaving people during that time, which a lot of people say when reading it said it sounded pretty cool. But of course, Ubisoft gave their reason why it was cancelled, and this was their reason. It said 3 sources told GameFile that World filtered through the company last July. The management in Paris had stopped development of the game for 2 reasons. 1. Online backlash that sprang to the reveal of Yotei, a historical inspired black samurai, as a protagonist in the company then upcoming Assassin's Creed Shadows. And 2. Concern that political climate in the United States had become increasingly tense. Alright. So, the first one, when it came to Yasuke and Assassin's Creed Shadows, there was a big online disagreement saying Yasuke was a samurai, he wasn't this, that, and a third. It was complete nonsense, honestly. And it was such a weird argument that was going around about it because Yasuke was a historic person, and there have been multiple media depict him as a samurai. So the fact that Ubisoft was making a game for Yasuke, it was a big issue for some reason, which didn't make no type of sense to me. But I digress. Like the whole argument was overall stupid, and the other one was political climate in the United States had become increasingly tense. I guess because like racism is not going away, so it is what it is. But the thing is, I don't get why Ubisoft was scared to do this, especially they have done it before. We all remember Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry, where you literally played as a black slave that became an assassin. Now that this Civil War game that you was gonna take out basically slave owners and the KKK, it's an issue. Like, shoot, even Mafia 3, you could go up and kill KKK members. So it's like, I don't get it. I guess like it's all about Ubisoft didn't want to deal with the whole situation that happened with Yasuke again. Honestly, with that, I can't really blame them because, like, even though people were saying that, Yasuke is a character, like, people was literally going out their way to make Assassin's Creed Shadows a really bad game because they put Yasuke in it. Like, people got mad at Ubisoft because some dude who was playing the game with destroying Japanese culture was playing at Yasuke, and for some reason Ubisoft got blamed for that. I'm like, why y'all blaming Ubisoft? Blame the dude who's actually doing it. Like, the whole climate of video games got very weird, and like there's reasons you can not like Assassin's Creed Shadows. Like, I played it, I platinumed it. I didn't really like the game in the end because, like, I have my own reasons for not liking the game. The gameplay was cool. Playing Yasuke and Naoe, that was pretty interesting dynamic between the two because both of them played differently for one another. In my opinion, the story was just bad. I didn't like the story, um, and that pretty much it. I didn't really like the story, especially how it ended. And I'm not planning to play the DLC, which supposedly I guess continues the story where it lets off, which doesn't make sense. Why do that? But I digress. It's unfortunate we're not gonna get this game, so I guess we just had to wait and see what will be the next Assassin's Creed game that Ubisoft is gonna put out. Sony Interactive and the studio Giant Squid had trademarked the name Sword of the Sea in Europe, which you don't know what that is. Sword of the Sea is basically an indie developed game that was on PlayStation Plus, I believe, which reviewed at a pretty high rating. I believe the last rating scores I saw for it was in the high 80s. So that's pretty good for a brand new debut game. And apparently Sony and Giant Squid trademarked the game. So a lot of people thinking, did Sony buy the IP or did they buy the studio Giant Squid? We don't know as of right now. I believe I did report it on a video before, or somewhere along the line, that Sony was changing up how they was gonna do their acquisition. Instead of like buying a whole studio, they were gonna try to see if they could buy the IPs. So maybe Sony bought the IP from Giant Squid. We don't know for sure, but until we hear more about it, I will come back to this once we get more details in the future. Remedy have issued profit warning following the launch of FBC Firebreak as recent overhaul fails to turn things around. Despite improved player and sales metrics after the update, sales have not reached Remedy's internal targets. If you don't know what FBC Firebreak is, basically a first-person team like mission game that you can play with friends, taking out some supernatural stuff on certain levels. It's kind of hard to describe. You're basically the cleanup crew. And I believe it was said FBC Firebreak takes place in the Control universe, which is a Remedy IP. And unfortunately, it did not do well at all. Like, I don't think I ever saw like how much it sold recently, but it looks like it have not reached the Eternal's target sales that Remedy was hoping for it. And honestly, I'm not really surprised because me and a couple of friends have played the game, and so we did all the levels and whatnot. But the thing is, when it comes to games like this, you need content. You need stuff for us to always come back to play. And you need to have that in a timely fashion. So it's the fact that Remedy did not have it during the time. I'm not surprised that sales wise didn't make anything, especially I believe they put on PlayStation Plus day one when it came out. So people that play on Plus, they wasn't gonna buy the game, especially there wasn't really much of anything there to tie them over or keep them coming back to keep playing. Like, we played the game, and we did all the levels. Unless you want to go back to do like get the collections of stuff, but other than that, like uh, I don't know. It's unfortunate, but I'm not overly surprised by it. Um, we seen Remedy did something like this before because I believe when Quantum Break came out and they had like really low sales. I believe Remedy also did like a state of a studio address for that for something like this also. So it could be the same boat when it comes to this, but Remedy will make a comeback in the end. Ghost of Yotei off to a great start, and it was reported it was the biggest PlayStation first party launch in Europe since Marvel Spider-Man 2 by Chris Dring. Launch sales were the same as Ghost of Tsushima in Europe, bigger launch than Helldivers 2 in Europe. So, by the looks of it, Ghost of Yotei is off to a pretty good start. Is the sales is around the same as Ghost of Tsushima, which that was a great sale for a brand new IP, and it's also a very good start for a sequel. So I say if you are a fan of Ghost of Tsushima and been on the fence of Ghost of Yotei, I strongly recommend you give it a chance because there's pretty cool combat, definitely some good side content. And last night I was streaming it and I reached a certain side story mission when they talk about certain legends in the world. The one I just experienced is so far my favorite one, and it will be your favorite too once you get around to that. So once again, I strongly recommend Ghost of Yotei. The games that are being added to the PlayStation Plus catalog for the month of October, you get Silent Hill 2 Remake, Until Dawn PS5 version, As Dusk Falls, V Rising, Yakuza Like a Dragon, Poppy Playtime Chapter 1, Wizard with a Gun, and for the premium tier, you get Tekken 3. This is a pretty good month. This one is a really good month, especially some of the horror games started like Poppy Playtime and Silent Hill 2 and Until Dawn. Definitely a very good catalog, especially for the Halloween season. So if anybody was looking forward to some of these games and was willing to give them a try, here is your chance. Especially Silent Hill 2, it was reported to sold over 2.5 million right now, which is pretty good for the series. And it just goes to show Bloober Team could make a really good game once they focus on it. Of course, some people say like, well, they're just remaking a old, already established game. But the thing is, even if they are remaking an established game, you could always still mess with the remake. So the fact that they did it justice, it says a lot. And they have put out their new game, Chrono, which at least what I heard people say was a really good game, so that's another thing. And I believe Bloober Team is being reported to remake the first Silent Hill, so yeah, they're on a good streak going on right now. Hopefully they'll keep it going as long as they can. EA has reported Battlefield 6 have sold 7 million copies in its 3 days, breaking the franchise record. To be honest, I am not surprised about this. Battlefield 6 had a whole lot of hype around it, especially people who got to play the alpha test. People was at the event when they had the open beta. Like, Battlefield 6 was doing everything that the fans wanted them to do, and especially the whole situation that was going on with Black Ops 7, which some people was not liking one bit. And the crazy thing is, some will probably deny it, but what was it? All the stuff that Battlefield Black Ops 7 said they was going to do, it was later added into. It would later change because of Battlefield 6, which goes into competition is good because of, even though they tried to deny it, but the fear how well Battlefield 6 was gonna do on launch made Call of Duty revert some of their stuff that fans have been asking for. Like, in all honesty, this is a win for everybody. They Battlefield 6 come out with huge success, and Black Ops 7 is giving what their fans wanted from the very start. So, in all honesty, this is a good thing all around. Hopefully, Battlefield keep this momentum going, thus making Call of Duty basically be like, alright, now we're getting some competition against Battlefield. We cannot slow down. We have to keep this momentum going just so we can keep our fan base from going over there. Like, and of course, Call of Duty is too big to fail and stuff. It's too big of a game and stuff. But the fact that we're getting competition between the two, which is exactly what gamers want, and I low-key can't wait to see what the future holds for the two franchises. Hopefully, with this, better games and better, basically pro-consumer stuff come out. So that's all I can ask for in the gaming community, honestly. AMD and the head engineer for the PlayStation console, Mark Cerny, had a sit-down talk in a video about their collaboration, and AMD tweeted at AMD collaboration drives innovation. In partnership with PlayStation, Project Amethyst represents a leap forward in machine learning-based graphics and gameplay technology, and the new technology breakthrough are just a glimpse of what the future gaming will bring. Project Amethyst, I believe it is the new stuff that that the PS5 Pro is using, like the PSSR, which is going to be further upgraded by the time the PlayStation 6 comes around. And this is the video that Mark Cerny and the person from AMD had, and this is what, and here's the video. The goal is with Project Amethyst for the PS6 will be powered by machine learning project. Amethyst aims to redefine real-time graphics with AI-driven architecture. Sony and AMD are building the future for the gaming. And of course, one thing that Mark Cerny said that had a lot of people surprised, he said, in a few years' time, where the PlayStation 6 will come out. So a lot of people say, could it release past 2027? Some people are hoping the PS6 come out 2028 because there's still so much for the PS5. So I will post a link to the video so you can watch it yourself. If you know about all this tech stuff, this will be a good thing for you to watch. But overall, we just gotta wait and see what's gonna happen when it comes to the PS6. And hopefully all this technology will be able to push gaming forward and not backwards. And I kind of agree with the majority. I believe the PS6 should come out at least 2028. I think 2027 is fine also. But if there's a lot of games are still coming out and we haven't really fully tapped into the power of the PS5, especially the PS5 Pro, I say, yeah, get the PS6 2028 and just make any other game just cross-gen like how they did with this gen. I'll be fine with that. Game Informer put out a tweet saying, "A Quantic Dream known for single-player games like Detroit Become Human is making a Spellcaster Chronicles, a new free-to-play multiplayer game. Here's what we thought about our hands-off demo last week." So, Quantic Dream that's known for games like Detroit Become Human, Heavy Rain, Beyond Two Souls, is making a free-to-play multiplayer game. This had a lot of people scratching their heads when this news came out, and already some people think it was going to fail because when it comes to these free-to-play multiplayer games that studios that have never done before tend to fail, and in some cases that does turn out to be true. Like, we have like multiple example of this. So already people are already writing off on this game, and I don't know if it would do well in this current market, honestly. Like, granted, I don't know what was the last game Quantic Dream put out. Was it Detroit Become Human? But I don't know. I strongly suggest, like, just wait and see. Maybe there'll probably be like a public beta for people to try out, or probably look at some of the hands-on that Game Informer had or something, or they probably videos online. I personally haven't looked into it, but they probably are. And here are some of the up-close screenshots from the game. Honestly, from the screenshots, it doesn't look that bad. It could be a pretty fun game, but of course we got to see how well they do, because if you're doing a free-to-play game, I could already see they probably gonna have some crazy microtransaction, because that's more than likely how they're gonna make the money back for the development. And it is what it is. Like, I guess we'll just have to find out whenever we get more look of this game to see if it would be a game for longevity or how else a Quantic Dream gonna do this game. But time will tell. And more than likely, we'll probably see more of it getting close to the end of the year. We're probably gonna see like a trailer or in-game gameplay of it at the Game Awards. We're like less than 2 months away from the Game Awards. Today's the 18th at the time of this recording. So yeah, we'll find out if Quantic Dreams could make a good multiplayer game. But with that being said, this is the end of the video. What do you guys think? You think Quantic Dreams could make a pretty good multiplayer? Are you excited what the future could entail when it comes to Project Amethyst with Sony and AMD? Or is there a game that you're excited for to try out in the near future? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. I hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and have a good one. Peace out.